Hello ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Mogel here again. Another video. This should be the last one on contracts, because in this one I'm covering some miscellaneous stuff. Bear in mind, your publishers can sometimes make some weird requests as part of the contract. Oftentimes it's in your interest and theirs. So there are not too many instances of this. It doesn't happen too often, but it can happen. And a prime example of it is right here. One of the publishers I worked with was running a Kickstarter. And one of the things they were selling on their Kickstarter, as it were, was the right to have your name as a Kickstarter donator. So you're donating money to a Kickstarter. Put yourself in those shoes for a moment. Have your name replace a character name in one of the stories in the book. Which is a really cool idea. But that also pops up in your contract. Because as an author, you don't necessarily want your characters being renamed by the internet. To be honest, sometimes the internet names things poorly. It really does. So there's a clause in the contract that allows you as an author to select whether or not you're going to have a character be renamed. So I'm going to read that to you right now. It's clause number 7. I agree to allow the publishing house, Strange Musings Press, I'll put a hyperlink to them in the description below, give them some advertising space since I'm mentioning them here, to change the name of one of my characters in exchange for an additional share in the final contributor share pool. So in other words, you're getting a percentage of the net royalties split up amongst the authors. What this is saying is, if I allow a character to be renamed for the Kickstarter, I get extra royalties. It's kind of a really sweet deal for you as an author if you have to run into something like this with a contract. The item is contingent. This item is contingent on the successful completion of the above anthology's Kickstarter campaign and your initialing here and availability of donors at the appropriate pledge level. So in other words, if you're okay with someone renaming your characters or someone on the internet renaming one of your characters, you write down the name of the character that you were allowing the publisher to rename and you're initialing next to it to acknowledge that you are allowing this. And if enough donations have come in at the correct pledge level, your character will be renamed, and in exchange, you get an extra share of royalties. If there aren't enough donations to reach the point where your character gets renamed, you don't get your character renamed, and you don't get an extra share of royalties. It's a weird clause. You're going to see weird clauses. These happen. I mean, weird clauses happen. They happen infrequently, granted, but they do happen. So it's something to be prepared for, because with the internet the way it is, and with, social media the way it is, and things like Kickstarter the way they are, there's a lot of venues for a publisher to get more attention and more money for an anthology or an upcoming book. And sometimes they'll try to rely on these things. It's something you will see happening. This is not something that is infrequent or impossible. It does happen. All right. That being said, there we go. Like and subscribe below. If you have any questions, email me. You'll see my, you can get to my email through my YouTube channel or through my website. My hyperlink to website is going to be in the description, along with a hyperlink to Strange Musings Press. Since I mentioned them in the video, they're getting some free advertising space. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and cheers.